Hey, I'm Ben, local realtor here in Wichita, Kansas. I want to give you a brief overview of what it's like here in Wichita if you've never been here or if you're looking to move here or just want to get an idea of what it's like. So I'm going to get into that here in a sec, give you a 30,000 foot overview. Each thing could be a video in and of itself, but I'm going to get into that here in a second. But if you do like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever platform you're on. We'll go from there. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a special secret bonus about Wichita that you may or may not know. So stick around to the end and find that out. So let me go ahead and just start sharing my screen because I like to just show you guys what's going on instead of trying to tell you. Let me get to the right screen. One sec. There it is. All right, so if you're looking at Google Maps here, you can see where Wichita is located at. We're just south of Kansas City, who's another major city in our area, and then also Oklahoma City. So we're kind of right in between the two. It's about 3 hours from Kansas City to Wichita. It's about 2.5 to Oklahoma City, 2 hours to Tulsa, depending on how fast you drive, where you're going, that kind of thing. So as you zoom in, you kind of get a better idea of the size of Wichita and where it's at. We're about 500,000 population size in the greater Wichita area. Now we say Wichita, but there's a lot of little towns and other surrounding areas around it, like Andover, Bel Air, Valley Center, Kechi, Park City, Maize, Goddard, Hayesville, Derby, that we all just say Wichita, because if we say Wichita, maybe you might know where it's at. But as you can see, like, we're a pretty little big town is what we like to call it. Pretty much anywhere you can get to in like 15, 20 minutes. Like, I help people to move here and they're like, well, I want to live 30 to 45 minutes, from where I'm working. I was like, well, that's literally anywhere in Wichita, because as you can see, as I drag this around, it's like everywhere is within a 15-minute drive. So that's one good thing about Wichita, is that literally 15 to 20 minutes, you're anywhere you want to be in the entire town. So if you don't like driving, you don't like traveling, Wichita's a good town for that. So we got really, really short commute times. Let's see, I got a list here to keep me organized on everything. We got a pretty slow pace of lifestyle, which can be good and bad, because if you're trying to take it easy, trying to retire, trying to not be super, crazy with the hustle and bustle of the world, this is a really good town for you. But if you don't like slow drivers, this is not the good town for you, because we have some of the slowest drivers, I think, in the nation. And I'm not going to get fully into how I really feel about that, but I think you can already tell. But you do have a lot of peace and quiet, a lot of slow lifestyle, really take it easy, really soak in the important things of life. We have some of the most amazing, beautiful sunsets you will ever see around here, with our big, wide open skies and just blazing skies when it's either setting, or if you're get up early enough to see it rise. We get some really cool sunlight reflecting off the clouds and having some really amazing sunsets and sunrises that you just got to see in person. You can kind of see one back there a little bit. But anyway, the catch side of that, though, is if you like getting stuff done, if you like things to get accomplished very fast, this is not the town or the city for you. We're pretty slow moving when it comes to everything, as far as change, as far as improvement, as far as progress, as far as getting anything done. We really take into that Midwesterner lifestyle. I got a perfect phrase for Wichitans, like, let me squeeze by and get the ranch there. That's our perfect attitude of how we are when it comes to our lifestyle around here. So with that, speaking of ranch, I'll get into restaurants and bars. We got a pretty good mix of restaurants and bars. We do like to eat around here. Quite honestly, we don't have a lot of major attractions, like when it comes to geography or major sports teams. The Wichita Shockers are our major sports team, if you will, in-house. A lot of us cheer for K-State, KU basketball. Let's see, what else we got? Kansas City Chiefs, but we don't really have any major sports teams here in Wichita. We're just not quite big enough yet. Hopefully one day we'll get there. But I'd say our major in-city team is the Wichita State Shockers that we really root for. So that's what we got going on sports-wise. Actually, I'm going to skip ahead to sports bars. Here gives you an idea of how many sports bars we watch. We do watch a lot of sports bars, or watch a lot of sports at bars. We do have a pretty decent amount of restaurant bar combos, just because if you understand our demographic, that's what works really well for who lives here. Because if you look at like restaurants and whatnot, this gives you an idea too of the overview of what goes on here. We have a lot of very good craft restaurants and craft bars and craft breweries. Where's that one at? I got that one pulled up here somewhere. Where's it at? Here's all the different breweries we got. This is kind of a newer thing. I really personally like this, the brewery concept, just because I'm a big craft beer connoisseur, and you know, Wichita really likes local. They like supporting the little guy and the local entrepreneurs who risk it to go start a brewery that probably started out of their garage or out of their you know, basement or what have you, and they like supporting those kind of like unique rustic things. So I'd say if there's one thing about Wichita that I could explain about it, or use it as a key competitive advantage, is that we have that vintage rustic lifestyle where, you know, values and things of the past are appreciated, to where we even have like a Cowtown museum, where it's kind of like the old Wild West around the Riverside area. Old Cowtown Museum is one of our regional attractions to come check out. When it's kind of cool to walk through there, and like they got a real old-fashioned blacksmith in there, and they do a real old-fashioned gunfight too. There's another crazy story. Ask me about that one later, about the gunfight at Cowtown. Then also, let's see, what else do we got? We got Botanica is a really cool attraction around here. What else? We also have the Keeper of the Plains. That's a really cool monument around the river. We've been doing a lot of development around the river lately. Just built a giant baseball stadium along the riverfront, and then COVID hit, and we were going to be a smaller seed league for the Florida Marlins, but then COVID hit and some things kind of disrupted that. So right now we're all a little bit up in the air, because recently we've had a lot of civic pride, a lot of civic development when it comes to Wichita, where people are really starting to embrace the city, support the city, and really spur it along for the entrepreneurial city it's been. Pizza Hut was developed here. White Castle is developed here. Freddy's been one of our most recent restaurants is developed here. And while we're on the concept of entrepreneurs and economics, we can talk about like the type of jobs we have here. It's a lot of manufacturing, a lot of healthcare. Some of the major employers are like Coke, Spirit, Cargill, a lot of agriculture, a lot of what I'd call, you know, blue collar, hardworking, salt of the earth, good, down to earth people. So that's really what you're getting here, is kind of the people that really make things go, if you will. So that gives you an idea like the jobs. Let's see. So type of lifestyle, I can tell you right now as a 32-year-old single male in Wichita that the dating here sucks. That's the only one complaint I probably have about my hometown. I've lived here my whole life. I love this town, but the dating kind of is non-existent, because a lot of people get married early, have kids, and it's a great place to raise a family, have kids, and do all that kind of thing. It's not the greatest place to party and be single and all that kind of thing. That's my only one thing about it. Not saying I'm Mr. Party and like to be single. I'm just saying, if that's what you're looking for, Wichita isn't exactly catering to that type of demographic. We're working on that sort of by trying to attract and keep our young talent, because that is one thing we have going on, is that a lot of our young talent leaves. But then once they establish their family and they establish those bigger things in life and they want to settle down, they usually find their way back to Wichita, because they realize and they appreciate the low cost of living that we have, which I'm going to get into here in a sec. Might as well do it now. The low cost of living we have, if you look at like where we rank compared to the rest of the nation, we're like 82.1. The average is 100. So we're, you know, 20% under what the rest of the nation's at. Our grocery bills are a little higher. Healthcare is a little higher, but our housing is crazy low. Median home cost is $129,000, and you can get a lot of house here for a little bit of money. And that's one thing about Wichita that's really good, is the ability to you know, make it financially, to rise up in the ranks from your own personal wealth standpoint. You know, the cost of living is low, where the wages are pretty decent, whatever. Oh, the temperature. I forgot to get into the temperature. I'll get into the temperature in a sec. But the cost of living compared to what you're making is awesome. So when it comes to you know, being able to live the lifestyle you want to live. Wichita's a really good place to live the lifestyle you want. It's a really great place to call your hometown. You can travel out of it. It's centrally located. You can get to a lot of different places in the nation and also around town very quickly. So it's a good place to live and be stable in, because we have a very stable economy, stable environment, stable situation. So if you're looking for stability, peace, and quiet, Wichita, Kansas is a really good place for you. But the weather, on the other hand, is a little wild. We can go anywhere from -10 all the way to 110. I mean, obviously that's extremes. It's more like 25 to 90, but still you can see that's a wide gap of 70 degrees difference depending on the time of year. So like you can look at the average highs and lows of everything. You know, average low in January is 25, average high is 43. So we're somewhere in the 30-degree range. That gets pretty cold depending on where you're from. But then June, July, August, you know, our average, like in July, is 72 to 93. So we have an average 80 degrees. That can get pretty hot, you know, and again, that's an average. So it can get way the heck up there. So you can see we get some big old swings where we get just about every season you want to experience in here. So you get a lot of opportunity to wear a lot of different clothes, do a lot of different things depending on the weather around here. So very dynamic when it comes to weather and what we have going on there. And speaking of weather, no, we don't have tornadoes all the time. I don't know Dorothy. I don't know Toto. We do have a yellow brick road though. And I'll show it to you if you get here in town sometime. Speaking of home prices, so home prices, as we said before, the average home price is about $129,000. But the thing is, like, you can get a really awesome house for $250,000. And if you look at anywhere else compared to the entire nation, how much house you get here for the money is, with the amount of lifestyle and big city feel and everything else with it, Wichita is a great place to live when it comes to our affordability when it comes to housing. Now it's starting to rise up, but nothing like what we're seeing in other parts of the nation. So let me go ahead and just kind of start to show you kind of what we have to offer house-wise to give you an idea. So these are all the active homes on the market right now. And if you start to scroll in to give you an idea of like the west sides, and I'm not going to get into all the subcultures of Wichita because there's a bunch more subcultures of it all. But I'm going to just start with give you an idea of like these houses. Like you can see what the prices are around here. Like this $444,000 house. It's a 6-bed, 4-bath, 4,000 square feet house on a golf course. That's in Reflection Ridge. It's one of the more desirable places. Same with this one in Reflection Ridge, 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,000 square feet, $389,000. Go look in California, you can't even get a 2-bed, 1-bath house for $500,000. You come to Wichita, you get a mansion for $400,000. Some of these other ones you can see, like you can get some really good affordable housing here. You know, just for the amount of money. So that gives you an idea, like the west side of Wichita, what's active, what's out there. But really, I'd say like our meat and potatoes of the area is like 100 to 300,000. Here you got kind of southwest Wichita, where you're closer to 75 to 175,000, and kind of Hayesville area, even further southwest Wichita. There's some pretty good houses down here. But you kind of get an idea of what the prices are. You got Derby area, which is another outskirt of Wichita. You can kind of see the house prices there. You know, 304,000 for a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet. It's actually a little more. I think it's just rounding it off. Same with this one's 267 for 5-bed, 3-bath, and that's a brand new house too. Let's see what else we got here. 268,000 for 5-bed, 3-bath, 3,000 square feet. It's probably a little bit more than that. That's a bunch of development there. But you can see we got really affordable home prices. And then over here we got military base, McConnell Air Force Base. A lot of military fly in and out of there, and you know, move a lot from this area too. Just trying to give you an idea of the housing prices though. I encourage you to go on the website and then you can just look around and get a feel for it all. But you can see like 195, 258, 159, 59, 1-bed, 2-bath for 60 grand. Isn't that crazy? So I guess my point is we have really good home prices. So 100 to 500,000, I'd say, is what our price range in. Really, the bulk of the meat and potatoes of it all is 100 to 300,000. Our mid-range is about 200 to 350, somewhere in there. High end is 350 to 450, and then 500,000 plus for us is considered elite, and you get a lot of really nice properties at that 400 to 600. Like, let's see if I can scroll in on one to give you an idea. Look at this Crestwood Country Club, one of the nicest areas in town. Look what you get for $995,000. You get a 7-bed, 7-bath, 6,000 square foot house for $995,000 in Wichita. Anyway, play around with it, have some fun. Hopefully you learn a little bit more what Wichita is really like. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, watching this whole video. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, everything you need to. And the secret bonus at the end for sticking around is that if you do come to town, I will show you around and buy you a beer. And at the same token, I want you to check out my Wichita Food and Booze Facebook group, where you can really check out all the restaurants and bars we have going on in there. And that's where a lot of the true hidden secrets of Wichita are when it comes to food, restaurants, bars, cool places like that. So Wichita Food and Booze is the name of the Facebook group. Go check it out. Hope you learned a little bit more what Wichita's like and what we have to offer. Appreciate watching. See ya.